Looking at you.
Used to watch. Are you talking about Rick and Morty?
Yes. Is that a good segue into it or what?
I 100% will
Tell me
say
why it's more important for me to watch Rick and Morty or like 1,000 hours of content that just dropped on Disney.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
I 100% am actually. I thought you had seen it. Had I known that you hadn't, I would have spent the weekend watching it with you.
All I know is they brought Szechuan sauce back to McDonald's for like a weekend. That's all I know about Morty.
It is a cultural phenomenon, 100%. But I mean, it's the smartest. It's the smartest sarcastic thing on right now. It's just great. It works on a lot of.
I don't know. It's Always Sunny has it pretty. Has been doing pretty good. This season's been pretty good.
You know what? The problem with It's Always Sunny is for me. No one is redeemable. There's everyone is utterly irredeemable, and I just need to like you a little, at some point. But they do a consistent job of making me. They waste every bit of capital that they earn on making a person a good person by the next episode. It's fucking amazing. It's a solid piece of writing, to be honest.
I mean, I didn't think the last season was great, but this one has been pretty fucking solid.
Lucy, you're out.
I'm back.
But all right, you guys want to get started?
Got 20% battery. Yeah, let's get started.
Okay. So here we go. Geek Out Tap today. Topic's gonna be Rick and Morty. New episode, Edge of Tomorty. Yeah, it just came out yesterday or 2 days ago. So we're talking about that. This is Ed coming from San Antonio.
What's up? Joe Cole here, live from Santa Monica.
Yo, Robert Strader from San Francisco, a.k.a. Planet Earth.
Rob Lucy, Southern Oregon, coming at you. These three guys are going to try to sell me on watching Rick and Morty. So pay attention, everybody.
Props to Strader for making Lucy follow that intro. Rick and Morty, such a dense show. Every episode, there's so much stuff to dissect. So only being 2 days in, a lot of stuff to dig into here. Main thing, I guess, try to break it down. So first major plot point was the death crystals. Being able to see when you're going to die. Pretty fucking twisted. Morty, of course, using it like any horny child would, I guess. What'd you guys think about that? Was it sad? Was it dark? Was it humorous? Was it both? Baby Dunk, a.k.a. Joel Cole.
Yeah, what's up?
What'd you think? Good call. What'd you think about the death crystals? Was it sad? Was it funny? Was it morose? Was it too dark? Did it not work? Did it work for you?
No, I thought it was pretty brilliant how Rick ended up utilizing them to find out exactly when they were reloading. So, of course, Rick found the perfect way to just, totally, hack the system and use them. And then it was funny how Morty just got addicted to it. I mean, the line is like, do you have a death crystal in your pocket? And he's like, I thought you were just masturbating. And he's like, you took that in stride? And it's just little back and forths like that were great. But yeah, the death crystal was an awesome addition to the mythology for sure.
Does it remind you of anything else sci-fi, Strader?
I thought that the death crystals were really dope. One of the things about Rick and Morty is to always basically just kind of flirt with some kind of philosophical idea. And this episode did that in spades because there were three extremely heavy physical ideas that were working that we're going to get to. But the death crystal going into the ideology of every action you take has a different action and will kill you in a different way is a really far-strung out way to put the freedom of choice into a box. And the idea that Morty is so caught up in just having the perfect life with Jessica Then he's like, I'll come back when you're 40. It's funny because it's true.
That's what's her response to that? Oh, that's hot.
No, but I mean that whole thing. That's why the whole post-credit stinger was just like the icing on the cake, and he knew it was gonna have to be something like that with Morty and his
Yeah.
fuck.
I mean, honestly, watching it from the beginning, I was already calling what that ending was going to be because there's no way, there's no way at that point in his life it was going to happen. Every time he looked directly at her, it would be like death, and then he'd look away, and then it was like, okay, now I'm not, now I get to be with her. Like, what the, then he even says, like, I can't even talk to her. How am I going to end up with her?
I think also like on the subtle philosophical tip, like I think that it's cool because the death crystals then touch on the paralyzed through options, like having so many options and choices that you just don't do anything. And like Morty's like literally stumbling through life, looking for the perfect life instead of just living his life. And so I think like, again, like the way that Rick and Morty ends up working on those various levels, that's one of the cool ones that ended up coming out from the first arc.
Yeah, I mean, it also definitely gives you a lot to look at. Like, 'cause, you know, being the psychotic person I am, I've watched it like 6 times already, and just those scenes like around, you could see all the different deaths that are going on like around him. I mean, one of them had Squanchy in it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he was there. I didn't really. There's so many like random stories that could come just from that episode. Which
Yeah.
I think someone said it reminded them of Morty's Mind Blowers, which it does a little bit in that way, like from the outer. All right, so another one of those topics that kind of ties into this is going to be Rick's constant rebirths.
All right, yeah. Wait a second though, but on that, wasn't it just? What was your reaction when you saw the first experience of Rick fly through the windshield and land on the spiked rock? I mean, as soon as I saw it, I was like, "What?" I mean, what a way to like.
That ties perfectly into the rebirth thing. I knew it was some way he was not gonna. He would be gone from the episode, but then it's almost like you know, when Batman gets hit from the Omega beams by Darkseid, he just ends up going back in time, and that's his adventures coming back to normal reality, and then Morty coming back to normal. It's like they said it at the end, you know, we're not going to do the same thing. We're going to do your adventures, my adventures, and you know, we're going to keep the boredom away by doing stuff like this, because it's not a typical Rick and Morty adventure.
And it should be a typical Rick and Morty adventure. I think that, you know, we'll get to that idea, but we live in a world that's so meta, that's so I'm gonna pause and look at everything. Someone's gonna look at every bit of Squanch life, you know, every Death Crystal life, and break that down. Like we live in a world with that's just that meta. Watchmen is doing the same thing, where they're just putting things in, knowing that the audience is going to go deeper, as opposed to just kind of pandering out. So I liked that end of them just being meta and breaking down that fourth wall and being like, okay, like this is what we're gonna do, this is what we're gonna do. So you guys don't have to like ask questions, like leave us the fuck alone.
Lucy, do you have any interest in this show at this point right now?
I do have some interest in it. You guys are making it interesting.
Okay. All right,
What if I told you that Shrimp Rick encountered a fascist reality? Would that sentence entice you to watch this show at all?
No, that would not help me want to watch that.
There's a lot of explanation needed in that
argument.
How about a wasp family eating a Goldberg or whatever his name's living larvae body as he spews little offspring that they eat alive on their dinner table? Does that sound appealing? No.
I've been watching a lot of 70s horror. That sounds really
that's out
appealing.
of context, I hope.
What's
No.
that?
Is that out of context?
No, it's pretty. I mean, it's out of context from the plot, but I mean, it's pretty accurate for how the scene goes.
One of the things about Rick and Morty is that it, again, with these heavy philosophical ideas that it was getting shunt in, one of the things is infinite realities. So it gives them a window as a storytelling framework to be able to literally do anything that the writer's room decides to do, and it's not out of place. Like the Simpsons can't just go live on the sun.
Given time.
What?
It sounds like the Marvel and/or DC universe from time to time.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
They're definitely mocking that a lot. So
Yeah. The writer's notorious for really hating on the Avengers movie line. It's pretty great.
So I guess like you talk about the Rick rebirths, or I kind of want to talk about that, but then also kind of tied together is the reality reset. I don't even think this is the same reality from Rick and Morty season 3.
That's what they changed reality so many times. I was like, how are you going to keep track of it by the end of it?
Well, and I guess this is my thing too. Like, are we watching the Rickiest Rick all the time? You know, like, is every episode of that caliber?
Oh, C-137.
Is it what C-137 Rick, the Rickiest Rick, in every place, or are we following different Ricks?
I think up until now we were following the same one.
Acid right now, the way you guys are talking back and forth. Where to God?
That's the show, man. That is the
Yeah,
show.
like, exactly. That's what the show invokes in you, man. It's fucking out there. And then it's like overtly crude, but then it's also like really smart at the same time. It's weird. It's like watching The Lighthouse. So I don't know. What'd you guys think about the reverse? Any highlights from it you guys liked or anything like that? That wasp one you brought up was fucking hilarious.
Dude,
Run,
even
baby.
oh
Run,
no,
baby.
okay. The one that really just had me cracking up was when he came back as a teddy bear and we saw it was a faster reality. He's like, nope, and just killing himself.
Okay, I guess that ties into the like third major point that's a little meta or beyond whatever the cartoon is, which is the fascist dystopias. Like, so what happens, Lucy, is he's constantly like he dies in the beginning of the episode, and kind of like the Emperor in the old expanded universe, he would go into new host bodies. He had clones like all throughout the galaxy. So whenever he dies, his essence would go into the new body. So this is kind of what's happening with Rick. He dies, and then he goes into another reality's clone vat. So he wakes up as that universe's Rick. What's that?
It's like Buddha.
Yeah, actually, pretty much so. Because one time he's a wasp, and he comes back as like a teddy bear. He's all kinds of different things. But every reality he comes into is a fascist reality. There are like one is just Morty's a Nazi, and I mean it's really commenting, I think, on our current society right now. And they even make a comment about like, when did fascism become like the default button? Like, that's totally commenting on where we're at as a society right now in America. So, what do you guys think? Fascist Morty is amazing.
I thought that the fascist theme, if we're gonna have the Rickiest Rick, I can say that this might have been the most opening opener. Like, if you're gonna talk big, like they got down, like we're gonna make fun of some uncomfortable shit real quick. Like the other stuff in the episode was funny because you're like, like wasp eating, like they like that, like that's like funny stuff visually. But when you get into, again, this ideology of when you go back to your normal reality, your reality is a fascist reality, but we don't see it as that fascist reality yet. And like that's some good head sauce.
Yeah, what about this? I kept wondering if he was going to run into Evil Morty, but what if Evil Morty's influence at the Citadel has given us this rise of fascist universes?
No, I think it's white people.
You think?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Did you guys see the fucking Boglins box?
Yeah, that was a great throwaway joke.
Wait, are you talking about the Kirkland's Meeseeks box?
No.
It's on the same shelf as the Meeseeks box, and he's like, "Oh, my little Boglins," and those are like those toys that came out that were like that soft foam rubber that were trapped in little cages.
and they're like little hand puppets. Like the whole thing is your hand, and then it just has like little arms. It looks like a ghoulie or any of those old like gremlin type looking things. But they came in like a little jail cell. It was amazing, and I hadn't seen that in forever. And seeing, like you said, a throwaway joke, but man, that was fucking awesome. It made me. It was the second time to even notice what it was. I was like, fucking boggling.
I did like the Kirkland Meeseeks box joke too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you want?
What about Jerry being an uber douche and being like Akira?
Oh my!
Anime. The way he was pronouncing it. Like just being one of those guys. It's croissant. I need a croissant. It's like you're just saying anime, bro. Anime. I don't know what else is it. What's that?
This is all from the latest episode?
Yes,
Yeah.
dude. It's a dense ass 25 minutes, man.
They get
It really is dense.
a lot of information into every episode.
But then there's just a lot of randomness, like Summer's speech, like the shit Summer was saying when he's like, I record everything, right? And then they replay it, and she's just.
Oh, why don't you guys suck each other's dicks? It's like, oh, gross, Summer, come on.
Fuck out of here, Summer. You ruined the season 4 premiere.
Or what if
Oh,
in
man.
the beginning when she's saying like, oh yeah, she looks cute. She has like, I think grieving gives her blushing cheeks. Look how she has a cute selfie. She's like, hey dad, you have almost like no maple syrup on that. The mom's like, Summer, stop trying to give your dad a heart attack so you can take a funeral selfie. I never get to have any fun. Like,
Let me ask you a question about this. So every episode, he's reborn into a different universe. Is the next episode going to be completely different?
No, he has the ability. The show's arc has acknowledged that there's multiple universes, and we're theoretically following one Rick through all of these ultimate universes. The thing is that Rick doesn't like Rick. So there's an infinite amount of super smart Ricks that are out to get this Rick. So
it's like the Council of Kangs or the Council of Reeds. Like
exactly,
there's a bunch of them from all different realities that meet at this center point and just kind of talk shit to each other and don't really get anything done. But they're like to say to each other, "We're the smartest man in the universe."
Is he really the smartest man in the universe?
yeah.
seems to be.
Most likely, he's the Rickiest Rick. But
he's defeated entire alien civilizations with just.
But that's the thing. I think this season is the first time you're not seeing the same one. And then there's that scene where Jessica hits on Morty. Jessica has never hit on Morty in any episode of the show. And she was talking about skinny dipping.
Yes, she
Which
has. When Rick
when he
gets
detoxed.
When he gets the pheromones.
Oh, that's the Cronenberg one.
Yeah, but they left that universe behind.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just citing that there's a time that Jessica had hit.
You are correct, sir.
Boom!
So Lucy, would you watch? Because you don't really need to watch any of the other episodes. You could easily just watch this one and probably understand, get the gist of the show, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, how about this? What would be one episode we would suggest to Lucy to watch to get him into it?
The
I'm
first
going Lawnmower Dog.
I honestly would say the first episode. The first episode is not as dense as it is, but it lets you know that there's going to be a lot of subtleties and jokes that are going to be working on different levels. And I think that the concepts that they get to in that first season are a lot smaller, like Snowball and free will and how we treat our pets.
That's actually what I would suggest, and that's the second episode, the Snowball one. I love that one. That one's
Lawnmower Dog. That was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Where are my testicles, Lucy?
Yeah.
I like you, Lucy. I will keep your. You will keep your testicles when everything else. So.
You text me your favorite episodes and your testicles.
I don't know if you realize what you're requesting right now, but
yeah, that's Robert.Lucy at gmail.com.
So right now at this point, I just put Lucy's phone number at the bottom of the screen, and then you let us know what happens after that, Lucy.
I'll turn to you, Ed.
All right. I mean, overall, it was definitely a good episode and a great intro for the season. And then, like you guys were saying earlier, the fact it's broken up in a weekly basis and not like binging and all that stuff gives us time to talk about it, and it was great.
All right, send me some Rick and Morty links.
All right.